Welcome to Voidverse, where we explore the mysteries of the universe and the strange things that leave even NASA searching for answers. If you love the unknown, the unexplained, and the mind-bending science of space, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. For years, astronomers have tracked an object that seemed to come from far beyond our solar system. It was called 3I-ATLS. At first, it appeared faint, a distant blur of reflected sunlight racing through the dark between the planets. But its speed and trajectory told scientists something remarkable: this visitor wasn't born here. It came from another star. When NASA's radar stations and deep space telescopes locked onto 3I-ATLS, the data was both exciting and confusing. It wasn't acting like an ordinary comet or asteroid. Its path curved strangely, its brightness changed in unpredictable ways, and the gases streaming from its surface didn't match any known pattern. Some researchers wondered if it was breaking apart. Others thought something, or someone, might be guiding it. Then, without warning, the object vanished. The last confirmed radar echo came from one of NASA's deep space tracking networks. One moment, 3I-ATLS was there, a faint point racing through the void, and the next it was gone. Instruments that had followed it for months now saw only empty space. At first, scientists assumed a simple explanation. Maybe the object had broken into pieces too small to detect. But when powerful telescopes scanned the area, nothing appeared. No fragments, no dust trail, no reflection of sunlight, just darkness. The disappearance sent a ripple of confusion through the astronomical community. Space agencies across the world began comparing data. The European Space Agency, Japan's JXA, and even private observatories checked their logs. Every record showed the same thing: 3I-ATLS simply stopped existing in any detectable way. To understand what might have happened, we have to look at what 3I-ATLS really was. The object's name itself tells a story. The 3I means it was the third known interstellar object ever detected passing through our solar system. The first was Oumuamua, the second was Borisov in 2019. Both of those were unique, but 3I-ATLS seemed even stranger. It followed a steep hyperbolic path, meaning it wasn't orbiting our sun. It was just visiting, briefly pulled by gravity before heading back into deep space. Yet the exact curve of its journey didn't fit the normal model for a natural object. When astronomers plotted its motion, they saw tiny changes, as if something invisible was giving it little pushes, altering its route. NASA's analysts ran simulation after simulation, trying to match the data. Some thought the object might have vented gas in short bursts, acting like a weak rocket engine. But others pointed out that the pattern of acceleration looked too smooth, too deliberate. The deeper they looked, the stranger it became. Spectroscopic readings, the analysis of light reflected from its surface, hinted that 3I-ATLS was made of materials rarely found in comets. There were traces of heavy metals, even hints of complex organic molecules. That combination raised eyebrows. Was it a frozen fragment from another planetary system, or something entirely different? Then came the anomalies in its light curve, the way its brightness rose and fell. Normally, when a comet spins, sunlight hits it at different angles, producing a regular flashing pattern. But 3I-ATLS flickered irregularly, as if its shape kept changing. One day it looked elongated, the next almost spherical. That could mean it was tumbling chaotically or transforming in ways no natural body should. All of these mysteries built up to the night when NASA lost contact. The disappearance wasn't gradual. It was instant. One radar ping returned a faint echo, the next nothing. A team in Hawaii double-checked the signal. Then the Goldstone Observatory tried to reacquire its silence. Within hours, NASA officially listed 3I-ATLS as lost. That's when the theories started. Some believed it disintegrated under solar radiation pressure, scattering into microscopic dust. Others thought it might have entered a gravitational shadow, an area where the background noise of space interferes with radar returns. A few more imaginative voices suggested something else entirely, that the object had activated some kind of propulsion system and changed direction faster than any natural body could. Whether or not that last idea was true, the timing raised eyebrows. Just before 3AIvoice disappeared, instruments detected a brief pulse of radio energy from its location, a quick burst, barely a second long. It didn't match known cosmic sources like pulsars or quasars. It was local, specific, and gone as quickly as it came. NASA hasn't commented publicly about that signal, but leaked reports hint that it was real. If so, 3AIvoice may have sent one final message before leaving our neighborhood of space. And that brings us to the question that still haunts scientists today: what exactly was 3AIvoice? When something vanishes in space, there's usually a trace, a trail of dust, a field of debris, a shift in the surrounding light. But with 3AIvoice, there was nothing. For weeks, observatories scanned the region where it should have been. NASA's infrared satellites looked for heat signatures, while the Hubble Space Telescope searched for reflected light. Everything came back blank. That silence created a mystery NASA couldn't easily explain. In internal memos, scientists debated whether their own instruments might have glitched. Yet all systems checked out fine. The loss wasn't caused by equipment failure. It was as if the object itself had chosen to disappear. To get answers, NASA reopened its data archives. They examined every second of tracking information from the moment 3AIvoice entered our solar system. When they plotted the trajectory again, they found something even more unsettling: small variations in its path that looked intentional, like course corrections. Natural bodies don't steer themselves. Still, the official explanation remained cautious. Unknown outgassing was the phrase used in public reports, meaning jets of gas pushing it in random directions. But behind closed doors, a few analysts whispered about controlled motion, a pattern too precise to be coincidence. Then came another surprise. 2 weeks after the disappearance, a European radio telescope in Spain detected a faint signal from far beyond the original coordinates. It was a narrow, band transmission, too structured to be random static, but too brief to decode. When cross-checked with NASA's data, the timing matched almost perfectly with when 3AIvoice was last seen. The signal repeated twice more over the next few days, each time weaker, as if the source was moving rapidly away from Earth. The frequencies didn't resemble any human technology or known cosmic event. They seemed to drift, like a code sent through layers of interference. And then, once again, nothing. Silence. By now, the story had leaked. Independent astronomers posted strange charts online showing the last known location of 3AIvoice. Amateur space watchers uploaded videos claiming to have spotted a faint moving light where the object used to be. Some said they saw it pulse once before fading completely. Conspiracy theories flooded social media. Alien probes, secret NASA missions, even time-traveling devices. The truth, though, remained buried under layers of data and speculation. Inside NASA, a special task group quietly formed, a handful of astrophysicists, data engineers, and radar specialists. Their job: find out whether 3AIvoice could have been something artificial. They analyzed the energy pulse recorded just before disappearance. The waveform looked oddly organized, not like static, not like a natural explosion. There was a repeating rhythm similar to binary sequencing. One scientist described it as the kind of pattern a computer might produce if it were trying to say hello. That statement never appeared in official documents, but several employees later confirmed it off-record. At this stage, NASA faced a difficult choice: make the data public or keep it classified. They chose silence. Only a few details were released, mostly about how difficult interstellar tracking can be and how 3AIvoice was likely destroyed. But other governments weren't satisfied. The European Space Agency demanded more transparency, and leaked reports soon appeared on science forums hinting at something extraordinary. According to those leaks, the trajectory after disappearance didn't simply stop, it bent. That means, if the readings are correct, 3AIvoice changed direction in a way gravity alone couldn't explain. The curve pointed not toward the outer solar system, but toward interstellar space, as if it was leaving on purpose. This raised a chilling question: what if 3AIvoice was never meant to stay? What if it came to observe, to measure, or even to send a message, and then departed once its purpose was complete. Scientists compared 3i to Oumuamua, the first interstellar visitor. Oumuamua had also shown strange acceleration, prompting Harvard astronomer A.V. Loeb to suggest it might be artificial, maybe a solar sail from another civilization. At the time, most dismissed that theory as too bold, but now, with 3i vanishing the same way, the idea didn't seem so impossible. Meanwhile, deep in NASA's data servers, analysts found something else hidden in the noise, a repeating frequency buried in the radar feedback. When translated into audio, it produced a faint rhythmic pulse, almost like a heartbeat. The team didn't know what to make of it. Some thought it was a coincidence, interference from Earth's own systems. Others couldn't shake the feeling that it was intentional. At this point, NASA wasn't alone in the search. Private space companies began running their own scans using radio dishes designed for satellite tracking. SpaceX, Blue Origin, and even independent labs joined in. They all got the same result. Nothing visible, but occasional faint, patterned bursts of radio noise from deep space. The direction lined up roughly with where 3i should have been traveling. Months passed. The object never reappeared. But the mystery kept growing. One night, a small observatory in Chile detected a new infrared signature at the edge of their detection range. It wasn't bright, but it moved fast. Calculations showed that if it were 3i its velocity had increased dramatically, far beyond what gravity could provide. It was accelerating into the void. When NASA analysts received that data, they stayed quiet. The discovery was logged but never officially confirmed. Publicly, they insisted 3i was gone. Privately, they admitted they didn't know where it went, only that it was still moving, faster than ever, heading out of the solar system at impossible speed. A few scientists began publishing papers suggesting new theories. One argued that interstellar objects like 3i could be fragments of ancient technology, relics from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago. Another claimed these objects might serve as autonomous probes, self-replicating machines designed to explore galaxies silently. But for every theory, there was resistance. Most mainstream astronomers called these ideas science fiction, reminding the public that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The problem was, no one had evidence anymore, only questions. Then came the strangest event of all. Roughly 6 months after the disappearance, several deep space monitors picked up a powerful electromagnetic pulse from a region far beyond Neptune. It was brief, only milliseconds long, but incredibly strong enough to trigger automatic safety shutdowns on satellites nearby. When the data was processed, analysts realized the pulse's direction lined up almost perfectly with the projected path of 3i. Coincidence? Maybe. But the pattern inside the signal seemed structured, repeating in prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. A cosmic coincidence, or a deliberate pattern, a universal sign of intelligence. NASA never commented. The files were labeled as background radiation anomalies and archived. Yet whispers spread among astronomers who had seen the raw data. Some described it as the most organized signal they'd ever recorded. One even claimed that if you converted the pulse into sound, it resembled a rising tone, like something powering up. After that, the case went silent. No further signals were detected. Public interest faded. News outlets moved on. But among scientists, the mystery of 3i became a quiet obsession, a reminder that the universe can still surprise us in ways we're not ready to explain. And somewhere out there, beyond the reach of our telescopes, something might still be traveling, fast, silent, and possibly aware. Months have passed since NASA officially stopped commenting on 3i. The files are closed, the radar screens are quiet, and the public has forgotten. But among scientists, something still feels wrong. Because in science, silence is never the end. It's a beginning. Every time we look at the stars, we see light that left its source thousands, sometimes millions of years ago. We are always watching the past. But what if, just once, something was watching us in real time? When 3i vanished, it didn't just take data with it. It left behind a question no telescope can answer: are we truly alone? Some say it was just a rock, a rare interstellar traveler that disintegrated under the heat of the sun. But if that were true, we should have seen debris, we should have seen something. Instead, we saw nothing, no dust, no fragments, no echo, only a sudden silence, as if the object had simply powered down, cloaking itself from every instrument built by human hands. And yet, deep within NASA's archives, there's still that strange narrow, band pulse recorded at the exact moment of disappearance. It repeats 3 times, then stops. Some say it's nothing, others say it's a message. But if it was a message, maybe it wasn't meant for us. Maybe, just maybe, it was a signal sent home. As the weeks turn to months, telescopes continue to search the darkness. Some scientists still believe 3 AIvoice will reappear maybe years from now, approaching again from another angle, watching us as we once watched it. And if that happens, one thing is certain, the world will never look at the stars the same way again. Because in the vast, endless ocean of space,